clearly and concisely. And once you learn how to do that, then you can bring in all the stakeholders and you can get into programs that'll help you and train you on how to build it. But that first step is you have to design a business model that is desirable.
When I initially moved back to Pensacola, I had a meeting with Lloyd. Lloyd invited me for breakfast, and I was telling him, man, I still have an idea for the entertainment industry. This is what I wanted to do. He was like, all right, I got started up on the blocks. So I need you to start coming to start up on the blocks and get a little more information on how to work through the tech ecosystem and take your idea and we'll get you where you need to go. My company is called The Know, is an app that is streamlining business for the entertainment industry. Yeah, so if you're a musician, what you would do is pretty much jump on the platform, you'll create a profile, but the way we created the profile is pretty much a cleaner way. So now if they want more information about you, you'll connect your social media platforms, your streaming platforms, and that way they can go directly to it. What we also have included is your calendar. So pretty much you can set your days, you can set your price for your days and automate your booking. So initially talking to Lloyd, my idea was all here, it was there, it was over here, it was over there. It was like, all right, Quinn, I get it. You got a lot that you want to do, but we need you to bring it in just a little bit and then work on your pitch, your story, and how you're going to bring it full circle to get people to understand what you're trying to create.
Most of the programs here wasn't inclusive, and so we said we'll focus on helping founders of color. We also start at the beginning of the thing, at the idea stage, whereas a lot of the programs you see here locally, they start after you're up, and that's not very efficient unless if you don't have a lot of money, you can't recover from your mistakes. And the lean startup system, it actually helps you make mistakes faster before you spend a lot of money. You don't actually start building anything until you got customer buy-in.
There was a need for small businesses to bring brand awareness to their business. I see there's a lot of makers and bakers that they're making all of these goodies and these products, but they can't market it, they can't sell it at the same time, and there needs to be kind of like that middleman, that middle person to help bring economic growth to some of the small businesses in Pensacola. So Taste of Pensacola, I came up with that idea during the pandemic when I saw things at that time that Amazon couldn't fulfill. They didn't even have those products, but the local people in the community, they did. And so there was a ton of people coming out saying, hey, I make masks. I'm like, wow, this is amazing, all the local people here that are just as talented that can actually make those products. And so I wanted to kind of showcase who they were. So with Taste of Pensacola, our income streams, we have several of them. We have the corporate America, we do corporate gifting, just regular consumers, different Pensacola natives that don't live here that want to purchase our boxes, like a taste of weddings, distribution. So we also do bulk sales. So for a private airline, if they want some local snacks and goodies on their passenger flights, they will come to Taste of Pensacola and we will source their vendors here locally, and we'll give a small business owner an opportunity to have reoccurring monthly sales. I've always had a really big vision for Taste of Pensacola. I knew that it could go beyond just local. I know that maybe other communities could possibly use the same platform that I'm trying to build. And I always have these big visions, but I never know how to even get there. Where do I start? I know it's more than, there's a lot of technical things behind it. I know there's a lot of research, but that connection, I never had it until, thankfully, I met and was introduced to Startups on the Blocks and was able to just learn more about how to grow it in terms of data. Things I just never thought about, framework, words like traction. There's a lot of things that I just did not know about and language that I need to know in order to get funding for my business. There's just a lot that I didn't know.
I would go to the stores and look online. They didn't have a wide variety of natural hair products about 8 years ago. And the ones that they did have, the ingredients, it would say that they were all natural. And when I would research the ingredients, a lot of the ingredients were not natural. I make everything, my shampoo, conditioner, I have an oil that I make, and I have 2 different separate butters. Like I had some people who were completely bald and grew their hair. It's about giving women their confidence back in their hair. I have this salon and then I have a second salon, and I have my products in about 5 beauty supply stores. So I need a manufacturer to keep up with the demand at this point. Startup on the Blocks has helped my business grow, send me to different people. I'm able to do different pitch competitions to apply for grants in the community for small businesses. Lloyd's a really good person to connect with. He has a lot of resources here in the community that can help small businesses grow. If you have a product out there and you're trying to go big time, he's the person that you would want to meet with.
So it's really important to have some type of support because 9 times out of 10, most founders start out on their own. And to have somebody that has an idea of how the ecosystem works and is able to tap into other resources and bring back to the community, and that pretty much has encountered some of the roadblocks or going through the same roadblocks that we're currently going through and understands where you're at, your culture and how you respond to things, is a big help because you don't really have too many people that have access to what we have access to here in the community. And a lot of people believe that you have to leave and go to bigger cities to do the things that we're doing here. But I mean, it's one thing to have exposure, but you have to actually know it's here in the community in order to take advantage of the resources. So I get approached and I talk to friends all the time that wants to either start an idea or hear that I'm actually doing the app and wants to know more information about how are you doing it or what's the process, what's the path. I'm like, man, we have somebody here, Startup on the Blocks, Lloyd Richard, and Lloyd is here. He's a great resource to the community and to founders that's trying to learn the ecosystem. So join Startup on the Blocks.
Hello, happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to Startup on the Blocks. We're going to get Muhammad up here in a second here. Muhammad, if you can hear me, come on camera there and come on stage. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm a little hoarse, so hopefully I can get everything out to tonight. And but I know you like to talk tech and all this stuff, so we know you can fill in if I get a little have a little trouble speaking. Yeah, we're glad to have you here. We're going to get into some neat conversation, but first I want to give a shout out to our sponsors and let them know we really appreciate what they're doing. So like we with our Startup on the Blocks program, we have this idea about teaching founders the best practice for building a startup. So we went out and told some folks what we were trying to do, and they liked what we were doing, especially supporting Black founders and teaching them the best practices, which includes learning how to build a scalable business model. So the first sponsor that sort of caught on our vision was Florida Power and Light, and they sponsored our training platform, and they've been working with us each of the past 3 years on this startup program. So we really appreciate them. And then we were hosting a bunch of pitch competitions, just trying to introduce people to what the startup ecosystem was all about. And so we were just doing a little small stuff with for like $1,000 here or whatever. But there's a lot larger ecosystem out there that offers pitch competitions and trainings and stuff. And we're just trying to introduce people to it so they can actually start applying for some of these other opportunities. So Innisfree Hotels, they bought into what we're doing, and they sponsored 3 or 4 pitch competitions. And the First Bank came in and helped out, and we also started this year. We started partnering with organizations like Blacks in Technology, and so we were through that funding, we were able to establish some cohorts and where we could specifically work with the Black founders and lead them through the training. And Florida Power and Light supported that as well. So we definitely want to give a shout out to everyone. So that's kind of what our mission is to teach founders the best practices for building a startup. And so, Muhammad, what do you think about that? Or how does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. When I transitioned into tech about a year ago at the age of 44,
okay,
and I wasn't clear on everything. I just knew I had a desire that I wanted to shift careers.
Mhm.
and it was Startup on the Blocks, which is one of the shows that I would watch on Thursday,
Okay.
just looking for inspiration and seeing people that look like me that was talking about tech and seeing their adventures in tech and trying to put all the pieces together. So if those sponsors was the ones that helped make Startup on the Blocks, then salute to them for making Startup on the Blocks what it was and help, because that was something that helped me a lot when I was trying to put all the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah, yeah, and so like when I talk to uh, actually interesting startups out there and companies out there that have programs for founders. And when I tell them that we're supporting Black founders, they tend to want to give us stuff for free, and because they think it's a good idea to kind of support Black founders. But the part of that challenge is that the mindset. The startup ecosystem requires the mindset, and I'll get into that a little bit. I'll just go ahead and pull up the slides. So, why don't you take a minute or so to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Before I start, I just have to ask God to guide my mouth and
Okay.
to give me the ability to speak clearly and to speak intelligently, as we have an intelligent listening audience out there who may be tuned in and have many questions. And I hope that I can be a vessel and be able to speak to those questions that they may have. To those that are listening, my name is Mustafaa Muhammad, also known as Mustafaa Talks Tech. About a year ago, I decided to transition into tech. It started a few years. I was dissatisfied with where I was career wise, and I wanted to shift somewhere. I didn't know, it wasn't tech at the time. But my job, my job, they had an educational program which allowed people that worked there to go back to school. They would pay for an associate degree, bachelor degree, all the way up to a master's degree. So
Wow. Great.
I said, hey, this might be a good opportunity to educationally step my game up and transition to something else. I didn't know where I was going to go. I just knew that I needed to get some skills and some education under my belt that would allow me to have more control of my career choices and shift somewhere. So I had a background in internet marketing and social media marketing. So I kind of thought digital marketing would be a good place for me to go. So I spoke to my educational counselor, and we started looking for programs that would give me a bachelor's degree in digital marketing. And
Wow.
we looked and we looked and we looked, and there were no bachelor degree level programs that would teach digital marketing because it's such a new field. There's no college that you can go to learn YouTube marketing or SEO or content marketing. So at best, we found traditional marketing degrees that was tapping on one course and calling it a digital marketing degree.
Yes. Yes.
Based on my background, I looked at the syllabus. I said, this degree is not going to teach nobody how to be digital marketing or a social media man, just on my own personal experience and studying of this field. So I said, that's not it. So he introduced me to the concept. He said, why don't you go get a certificate in digital marketing?
Okay.
I said, okay. I said, they going to pay for it? I said, okay. And I said, will this open doors and allow me to um, transition career wise as a digital marketing specialist? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so that was the beginning. A year ago, I entered that course, November of 2022. I completed the
Okay.
course in January of 2023 this year. So I am a
Okay.
certified digital marketing specialist. I went back and I'm presently studying for software engineering as well, a certification in that to add to my tool belt. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
I thought at first that I just was transitioning to start a career as a digital marketing specialist or future a software engineer. But here I am a year later. I never never knew that I would be where I am now.
Okay.
And I say it to mean that I thought I was just going to get a career. I
Yes.
never knew that a year later that I would find a mission, an assignment, and a purpose
Wow.
that
Okay.
I would enter into and become a tech evangelist. See, when I found out that only 6 to 7% of Black people are in tech, which means 93 to 94% of people don't look like me are in tech. And then I found out that 2% of people in tech are leadership, meaning that 98% of people that don't look like me and that are making decisions are in tech. So
Yes.
that gave me a mission to want to educate and share information and begin to give people insights of this great field that I had found and show them how they can transition. I'm not disregarding college education, but even as little as you can get a certification in a few months and you can make a shift that would change your whole career trajectory.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Let me ask you a question here. So, which certificate program did you for the digital marketing? Who actually what organization was offering that?
It's a school called Thinkful. It's by Chegg, but it's called Thinkful.
I haven't heard of that.
And yeah, I think they had another name a couple of years ago, but they are presently Thinkful, and they
Okay.
offer certifications in digital marketing, software engineering, UI, UX, data
Okay.
analytics, and some other cert programs,
And
cybersecurity, and
yes.
other programs.
Did they have their own training platform for that, or was it using one of the traditional platforms like Coursera or Udemy or something like that?
They actually have their own independent platform,
Okay.
and
Okay. Gotcha. So let me so one of the so we I talk about startup founders, but what the point I want to make tonight is startup founders need people that go through these certification programs to come in and help them build whatever platform they're building. And so whenever somebody's trying to build a software application or hardware application, you have to have a team of people, to do that. And so when you say there's not enough Black people in tech, that's a problem. Who's going to help you build whatever this grandiose idea you have? But the second point I wanted to make, just like here on Startup on the Blocks, I talk about all these resources that are out there for founders that founders can leverage to grow their startup, but they have to know the best practices. They have to have the right mindset. But it's the same way for people who want to get in tech. There's been so many funded programs over the last 4 to 5 years that Black people and can get free scholarships to go through get these certificate programs. And so it's out there. And what I found, just like I found that the resources there, but the people are not aware that the resources are there. And so the reason why these resources are there is because companies like IBM, Google, and Microsoft, the colleges weren't putting out enough people to fill all the jobs that were there. So all these companies went out and created their own certificate programs to get people ready for an entry level job. And so that's what's available to kind of get people in check. So we're gonna first I want to go ahead and finish talking about what I Start on the Blocks is, so people can understand what that is, and then we'll show how what you're doing with Mustafaa Talks Tech, how that actually relates to the startup founders. So and so I've been harping on this mindset stuff for a while, and even for a tech related job, or being a founder, it requires a certain mindset. And so you have to develop the mindset, and there's it starts with you as an individual, and whichever journey you're going on, there's a mindset, and so and once, like for a startup founder, once you develop the right mindset, and then start getting the skills and learning the best practices, you can unlock all these resources that are out in the ecosystem to support you in what you're doing. And so when you talk about getting into tech, like there's so many organizations are that will support you getting into tech, and there's so many free training courses and communities that support you. But you have to, whatever you're interested in, you have to get around people that are doing the same thing, and take advantage of these things, because they're out there. You just have to become aware of them, and that's part of the whole mindset thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So from talking to you, it seems like you have a pretty good outlook on life and a pretty good mindset, and you're motivated to kind of keep moving forward. So what's your opinion on the mindset stuff?
Myself, I had to shift my mind. And as I said, when I first came into this, I thought I was just going to get a job, and I thought I was just going to chase a career. But along the way, my mind shifted from just thinking self, getting a job, to thinking outwardly that I could actually create a platform. And this platform could be educational to others, like you say, letting them know about resources. There are people that don't even know that you can go to school and get certified in something in 3 to 5 months. And again, it can change your whole life. You can start a whole new career on cybersecurity cert, digital marketing cert, software engineering, UI, UX. There are people that don't know it. I know it, you know it, but a lot of people don't know it. So my mind had to shift from just thinking self that, I can get a good job, I can move forward, to how can I share this information with the many that don't know? The man that's 40 or 45 years old, like I was, who may be fed up and may not want to go back to school for another 2, 3, 4 years, but wants to change. There's a cert, you can go get cert, brother, and change your whole life. Or what about the young man who cannot, or don't want to go to college, and may think, if I don't choose that route, what do I do? There's an
Yes.
option for that person as well. So I had to shift my mind to go from just thinking self to thinking outwardly community. Therefore, Mustafaa talks tech.
But that's fantastic, and so I'm glad you making a point here. Like when a person thinks about themselves and what they can get, and me, and not thinking about um, community and working together, it's how you build stuff. But when you look at things just from only you're actually limiting your ability to grow. And so so, like, let's say when in the economy, if you're doing good in the economy, you got a good job. What about all the other people, the relatives, all these other people, that are struggling? And so you have to um, share this idea that these resources are out there to support founders. I Mindset is everything, but in the startup world, there are some specific mindsets that you have to have in order to build a startup. And so, like the example you just gave, you said, what if I can build a platform that connects people to all these resources out there to move forward? And so you're doing it through through your podcast, but what's to say you can't even build a business model around a platform that, so when somebody wants to learn something about tech, you can build a platform to navigate them through that. But I don't know what a revenue model for that would be, but you would have to figure that out, you know. So what we're doing with the startup world is we're taking this, we see this training that's available for founders, and it teaches them, you know, these things you need to know in the startup world. And so and it makes all the difference in the world. So let me just get through this so we can just talk. So like in the tech world, when you want to get a job, there's a path you have to follow. In the startup world, if you being a founder, there's a path you have to follow. And so this is an example of a path that you follow. And in the old world, it teaches you that you need to open up a business and start trying to get customers. And in the new world, you go through this type of process. So the economy has changed, and so we're in a technological thing where you can build things faster than you could 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even a year ago. So here's another. This is what we do with the Lean Stack platform, and Mustafaa, you actually signed up for this business model design training that's starting next week. And for the rest of you that are out there, I extended the application for that until tomorrow, and you can go to apply. I'm going to type that in real quick and share it with everybody. Institute.org, and just fill out that application. It takes only 2 minutes to fill it out. And you can actually. So how long did it take you to fill it out, Mustafaa?
2 minutes or less.
yeah, and so it's kind of what we're. Well, I guess I didn't spell apply right, so I should have an L in there. But let me apologize for that. It's just just apply. So .kakuinstitute.org. But it's literally, and the whole idea of that is you start off with building a business model around your idea. Now, if you already have a startup or already have a small business, you can still use this training to build a business model that's scalable. And then once you get that business, once you design a scalable business model for whatever your idea or what you want to build, and it might take you 2 years to build it, it might take you 3 years to build it. You build a business model for it, and it's a one-page thing. But you have all these mindset things that, you know, one mindset, you have a 10x growth rate. There's so many things, and we teach you what those mindsets are in that program, and we teach you how to pitch, how you're going to make money with your idea. Most people pitch their idea. The business model for your idea is what you pitch, because you're trying to get help to build it. And then Mustafaa, you know, like you're going to get through this 30-day program here. So early next month, you're going to learn about this, finish learning about this business model design stuff, and then you're in the second cohort. The first cohort we finished up in September, and so we're going to let 10 people, 10 teams from those first two cohorts get into this second part of the training or the phase here. It's this problem solution fit. And so that's the 90-day program. And so, and I think we give a little bit more money for that. I think we have $5,000 for that we have prize money that we do after that. But it takes you through the next step. But you have to learn this first step really, really well, because if you go out and spend more time on this problem solution fit thing, and you don't have a good business model, you're going to be spinning your wheel. And that's what founders are doing out there now. They're out there building stuff, working hard in their startup and their business, but their business model is broken and it can't scale. This curve is a 10x scale curve. This traction roadmap curve. So the whole idea is you get we make the knowledge accessible to all who want to learn, and the ecosystem supports you through all of this stuff. We can get you through here, and that's going to help you and we offer this training, but there's other programs out there for that once you get past this point, they may give you 50,000 or 100,000 to kind of continue to what you're doing. And so next week here in Pensacola, the I-10 Wired, they're having $100,000 pitch competition. So can you imagine pitching an idea and winning 50,000 or 25,000?
Wow.
Yeah. And that's what the startup ecosystem does for you. And that's hard. That's what's hard for people to understand. People, if you work on your scalable business model and keep trying to make progress, every step of the way you can get help. And it's the same way with getting into tech. If there's a support system out there to take you from whatever you want to do in tech to getting you where you can actually have a profitable career in tech. And that's a mindset thing. So my mindset, like I keep saying, is I always look for resources. No matter what I'm doing, what are the resources that can support me in actually doing what I'm doing? And so always there are some resources. So I leverage them to help me move forward. And that's what being a founder or being a student wanting to learn a new career field and to get in tech, there is a support system for you. You just have to take advantage of it and realize that it's actually there. And then this is another way to look at the startup life cycle. Is you start off with an idea and you end up with an exit. And so we use the startup science program to teach you how to get through all of these phases. And so we make this available to founders for free. So you access to the knowledge and information is actually what you need. And both for these programs, this program and the Lean Stack program, they both have tools in there for you to use to get you through all these milestones for building and trying to get to this product market fit here. So let's wrap this part up. You always have to have a playbook, and so this is the playbook we tell people to use, and it starts with mindset, of course. And I won't go into much detail on that. And so the idea, you have a mindset over here, and with the Cocoon Institute and our Startup on the Blocks, we have some resources for you, and then there are tons of programs out there that you can actually take advantage of, and you have to speak the language of the applications to get in these programs, and that's what we try to teach you through that business model design and the startup science deal there. So, and this is another view of the path these milestones you have to reach. And so, basically, in the startup world, you have to make progress. And so, the getting that business model, that scalable business model, is the first step, and learning and doing your traction roadmap. And then you just move on to the customer problem fit, and then the problem solution fit, and then the solution customer fit, and then the product marketing fit. And so that's the path we go through, and it's a pathway to get you from an idea to scale. And so we're here to support you in getting there and getting you ready for all these other programs that are funded, that give out a lot more money to support you in building whatever you're trying to build. Yeah. So what have you found, you know, in the in the world of this tech? So what are some key things that you found, you know, about getting into tech and resources and stuff like
that? The first thing is, I believe that you have to have the desire, and
Okay.
then you have to find knowledge.
Okay.
And for instance, if I have a desire to lose weight or to get in shape, that's enough to get started. But then I got to find a personal trainer or someone that has the knowledge that can
Yeah.
translate my desire into action and show me how to make it manifest. So once you have that desire that, hey, I want to enter tech, there's so many resources out there. You know, Blacks in Technology was a great resource for me. Just doing simple Googling, you know, Blacks in Tech, getting on LinkedIn. And I found so many people that look like me in tech and who were so willing and took me in like a little baby and were willing to nurture me and mentor me and share their experience with me. So if you have the desire out there, there's knowledge out there. You just have to have the desire to want to look, search and look. You know, we have the Kakua, we have Blacks in Technology, we have Mustafaa Talks Tech coming up. So if you're a seeker of knowledge, it's out there. We're in an age where information is literally at the tip of your fingers. You know, as long as you got that smartphone, it's so much information. Sometimes I just pull up YouTube videos and I learn and I learn and I learn. An example of that I like to tell people is that I'm not a mechanic by training or profession, but I have done minor repairs on my vehicle with a smartphone in my hand, watching a YouTube video with tools in the other hand, and I'm doing minor repairs on my vehicle just off watching a YouTube video. So I say that to say that there's so much information out there. Don't be afraid. You know, you have to be curious, you have to have the desire, and that information is out there. And there are so many people out there that look like us, Black, that are in the tech field, that are willing to help you and want to help you, that think, I believe, like me and Lloyd, that want to see the numbers increase of Blacks in technology, so that as this shift takes place and technology becomes a bigger thing, we can be some leading factors in this tech world that's coming up.
Yeah. You know, and I'm looking forward to, you know, our local community growing. You know, some other cities have, you know, pretty large tech communities, and people get together, collaborate, and support each other and growing. And so that's really great. So let's back up here and kind of think about your journey. So what did you start off thinking about? What did you want to do for a career, like when you were in high school, and just kind of walk us through your journey to getting into tech from there.
Yeah. My story that I'm going to tell you is a sign that tech is anybody can get into tech. Because I tell people and they laugh, but I have the best education that the Pensacola Public Library can provide.
Oh wow!
And I'm a
Okay.
I'm a proud graduate of the Pensacola Public Library on Spring Street.
Okay.
And I say that my background in education was pitiful.
Mm-hmm.
I was expelled from the 5th grade and had to repeat 5th grade twice.
Oh
I
wow!
ended up having to go to an alternative school because of my behavior in elementary, which is one of those end of the road programs.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up thinking that going to school and getting good grades and following the rules, I thought that was acting white. I thought that was not cool.
Wow.
So all of that behavior and ignorance on my behalf led me to becoming a high school dropout in the 10th grade.
Wow.
And it was the Million Man March. that my mother was so fed up with me, she was about to kick me to the streets.
Okay.
And she made me stay home and watch the Million Man March. And the Million Man March, the spirit of the Million Man March, and the seeing all of those black men being positive and making changes, it became a seed and a catalyst that made me want to make some changes.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so at that point, I decided I'm gonna go back to continue to get some school and get my school completed. So as I say, I started going to the Pensacola Public Library down on Spring Street and reading books on math and science and English and history, bettering myself. And then I decided to enroll in a GED program at the Fricka Center on East Street.
Okay.
And I had to, and I'm sorry, I'm taking a long way to get there.
No, that's good. This is so you know, you have the perfect story to help people understand that you can get it tech, you know, and that's why I want you to share it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I went to the Fricka Center and enrolled in a GED program. And I had to take an assessment to enter to see where I was at and where I needed to improve in. And the teacher, the teacher, Miss English, she was horrified by the results of the assessment,
Oh,
how
wow.
I had neglected education for so many years. And this black woman, Miss English, she told me, young man, I will stay by your side and I will not let you fail. And within 6 months of dedicated and hard work, I was able to take a GED test in September of 1996. I didn't know what the results were going to be. I thought I would pass everything except math. I said math gonna kick my butt. So I was content to say I would have to take the math portion again. But about 3 weeks later, going into October of 1996, I received an envelope in the mail, and I opened it up, and it said, "Congratulations, you have passed your GED program." And I screamed to the top of my lungs. And I contacted Miss English and I showed her my scores, and she said, "These are some of the highest scores I've ever seen as I've been a GED instructor." So that was a milestone for me, that I went from being expelled from 5th grade, going to an alternative program, becoming a high school dropout in the 10th grade, to now gaining my GED. And I thought about what was the next stage after that. Me and her consulted and decided, what's next. But she said, "Well, you're good with computers. Computers make a lot of money." But that wasn't my passion at the time. But she said, "It can make a lot of money. You can go to college and you can get grants and scholarships and stuff." So I attempted to go to college and go to school, but I was going more so because of somebody else's desire for me instead of desire within myself. So that didn't work out long. So I bounced around and did other careers and other things. But in 1999, the internet was booming.
Oh, for
And
sure.
I was introduced to the concept of e-commerce.
Okay.
And I learned enough how to put together a website from scratch using our templates, our Microsoft front page, for those that been around back in the day.
Yeah.
And I built a web page, and I learned about internet marketing, e-commerce. And I set up a website, and I found out about ebooks. And I put up a few ebooks. I didn't think nothing was going to happen. And about 2 weeks later, someone paid me $40 and bought some of my ebooks. And that was the start of showing that there's a market on this internet. And so I did that for a while. I bounced around and did drop shipping through eBay. I done different social media initiatives. During the pandemic, I produced a t-shirt line, merch, which I'm wearing right now, which I had print on demand. I've done that. So tech has always been around me, but it wasn't until like now that I focus on really making a career of it and really helping others to see how this can be a platform to lead into a great future for us. And as we said in the discussion before, that because of your educational background, people will say, oh, I expect that from him. But when a guy like me comes into tech, a guy who only made it to the 10th grade formally of school, but now I'm shifting into tech and I'm getting ready to excel in tech and be on this platform of tech, then anybody can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yes,
You
yeah.
just got to have a desire and a will.
Yeah, so like the bottom line is all of these companies out there that hire people in these entry level job roles and stuff like that, they're looking for a certain level of competency. So the bottom line is you have to learn what they're looking for. And actually, I think it was probably about 3.5 years ago. I was listening online to a young black lady. She had dropped out of high school and had went in the military, but she ended up wanting to get into coding. So what she did was she learned the Google style of coding. So she found a resource and learned what Google style of coding. So when you apply for an entry level job, you actually can pass the test because you know what they're looking for. But long story short, this lady moved up in Google and without any college education, working with all the PhDs at Google, and she was, so it's just literally amazing. You have to get in the door, and she took what she learned in the military, and just being resourceful to move forward. And before we go on, I was happy to hear that the Million Man March had an effect on you. So I was at the Million Man March, and when I got off the train in DC, you could feel it in the air. You could tell something was in the air, and so it was an amazing experience. And then I had to leave there to go up to Philadelphia. So I was riding from DC to Philadelphia, and when I stopped at the rest area, all the emotion, people heading back home, it was still there. I never experienced anything like that in my life. It was truly amazing. And to hear you say it had an effect on you to turn your life around, that's pretty amazing. Yeah. So that was really, really touching. So if the audience, if you have any questions about startups or about tech, and so please go ahead. So what I tell people, and I did want to, let me paste this in there. Let's see here. So this Sam pasted in there. That's a Google document that has the links to a lot of programs that the Core Institute offers. And if you use this link here, it's our Get Started page, and it has all the ways that you can actually get into tech and also get into the startup world. And so just like corporate America, the government has put up so much money to help Black businesses and help people become startup founders. The same thing happened in the talent world for getting people into tech. And so there's so many programs out there, like you said, and you just have to become aware of them. So yeah, so definitely take advantage of those links and kind of get connecting. So I want to bring this thing around. So pop the questions in there, and so how does this people getting into tech help startup founders? And so, and what I found in a lot of these programs that you were talking about earlier. So you said the marketing, the digital marketing. So what are some of the other career fields you said?
What does the school offer, or what am I pursuing?
Yeah, but just the job things that don't require a college degree, the types of job roles you can get for kind of getting into tech, like project management.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would definitely swing. My heart is big in digital marketing. You know, that's my number one right there, digital marketing. But also, there's a field of tech sales through course
that's
career.
exactly right. Yeah.
I have a buddy that lives in Atlanta.
Okay.
He took a course through Course Careers, cert program. They say it takes 3 months, but he finished it in a month, just all grit and desire.
Yeah.
He finished the course in a month. He lives in Atlanta.
Yeah.
He was able to transition from working a regular job to making $85,000. He works remote.
Yeah.
They gave him $1,000 stipend to build a home office, and they pay for his gym membership. And again, he works from home. He works remote.
Yeah.
He paid $450 to get this cert, and now he's making $85,000 a year working at home.
Yes. Well, but so Google has a program for sales, tech sales. So yeah, tech sales, UI UX, project management, data analysis, IT support. There's just so many of these entry level things that you can get in that you can take these certificate programs. And if you look at our Get Started page, we got this Innovation Skills Initiative program that can actually help you get in those. And for the folks in Northwest Florida, we literally, through some partnerships we have, we can enroll you into training. And there's so many national programs that do the same thing. It's just crazy. Blacks in Technology, same thing. But go ahead.
Okay, and another one is Udacity. They have linked up with Blacks in Technology and some other different places, and they offer scholarships all the time. I'm seeing they're offering scholarships. And if I hadn't went the route that I went, where my job was paying for it, I definitely would have went that route. But they're offering scholarships for software engineering, digital marketing, cybersecurity. I mean, they're always promoting, hey, we got this money, we can get you certified, you can get this certs for nothing out of pocket, and you can shift into a whole new career. So
yeah, that particular link I'm showing up there now, it actually will get you to the link that to get you a free membership with Blacks in Government, Blacks in Technology. I mean, yeah. So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. So the deal is when for founders, you need project manager type people. You need UI UX people. You need IT people. You need software development people. You need digital marketing people. And all these people come together and help you build and grow your startup. And so we need more people to get into these tech job roles. And a lot of the tech related job roles, you don't have to be a programmer. You don't have to be all these things. So it's just pretty amazing that the opportunity is there, but it's like you have to be curious. What kind of job role can I get, to that pays a good salary? And like you said, sales. Yeah. So like if you building a product, somebody's got to sell it.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's pretty fantastic.
And one thing, when I completed my digital marketing course, as I said, I thought I was going to transition immediately into the field, go find me a nice digital marketing job. But even though I had the knowledge of digital marketing, and then I had about 10 years of social media marketing experience and content marketing experience, I still didn't, even I had the cert, I didn't have the confidence that I can go on these jobs and actually provide value, what they call imposter syndrome. So I went back through the course, took it again, and then I just started freelancing and doing my
Yeah.
own project and started
Hmm.
building my confidence. And then I learned going from being a generalist in digital marketing to becoming a specialist, learning what is my niche in digital marketing, because there's such a broad field of when you say digital marketing, it could be one or many lanes. So once I started freelancing and working independently, it gave me the confidence now where I feel I can walk on these jobs now, just based on me working independently with people, working with companies, and working with individuals in freelance projects. It built my confidence up.
Gotcha. Yeah. So so yeah, and also they have a lot of online communities that help you learn how to do projects, and that you build up your portfolio of projects that you work on to kind of
Mhm.
help you move forward. So Muhammad, Mustafa, if you put your contact LinkedIn or email or
Yep,
whatever calls wants to connect.
yep, that's right. The
Yeah,
Mustafa Talks Tech, that'll take you to everything of my ecosystem of Mustafa Talks Tech.
fantastic. And it looks like Tony has a okay. So like you said you don't have to be a wizard in tech. You can always hire from one of the gig side. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's exactly right. So yeah, so how would you sum up the opportunities for a tech careers based on what you learn on your Mustafa Talks Tech?
I believe that those of us that went through the pandemic, that it has sped up a lot of changes, and we are in that world of change right now. For instance, we saw when the schools were shut down, the children didn't stop getting education, they just started doing remote schooling.
Hmm.
We saw when a lot of jobs shut down and people couldn't go into the office, companies didn't shut down necessarily. You had remote workers. We
Gotcha.
saw when churches and mosques and synagogues and other places of worship shut down, they didn't have in-person service. They had webcasts where people were still preaching about the good Lord. We
Hmm.
saw during the pandemic that Hollywood didn't stop producing movies. They were still producing great movies, but there became a streaming model of bringing movies straight to home through your Fire Stick or your Roku.
Yeah,
So I say all that to say that the pandemic has sped up a lot of innovation and changes that were maybe 5 or 10 years down the road, but they're now in our face right now.
yeah,
So we have to adjust with the times that we live in, and don't be afraid of tech. Don't think that you have to be, as my brother say, a wizard, or hey,
yes,
I only got a high school diploma, or I don't want to go to college. That there's information out there, and there's opportunities out there, and that if you desire to enter into tech, you can get a cert and you can change your life. There's so much information, and there's programs, as our brothers say, that you don't even have to come out of pocket to get these certs. So it's my hope and desire that those that hear me and may be itching for a change and may feel that I need to do something different, I would encourage you, highly encourage you, to look into tech. It's a
yes, yeah,
field, it's a field that you can enter into with a cert. It's a field that can offer remote work. It's a field that can offer contract work. It's a field that can offer level up income. It's a field that you can easily transition into being an entrepreneur. You can be a tech entrepreneur. Once you learn
yeah,
those skills, you can easily sell those skills and become useful to someone else. So
yes,
there's so many opportunities in tech. Mustafa Talks Tech. However many years the good Lord gives me to live the rest of this time, I'm going to be singing the praise of tech and I call myself a tech evangelist. I'm going to evangelize Pensacola. I'm going to evangelize Florida. I'm going to evangelize the USA. I'm going to evangelize the world through my platforms to let people know we are in a change of worlds, and we have to adjust with that change. Otherwise, a lot of us is black and brown, and others, we're going to get left behind. That innovation is going to push some of us out, but we don't have to wait till this innovation and automation take place. We can be smart and think ahead and start preparing ourselves now to learn skills and learn ways of shifting in a career or starting our own business with tech. You know, like a lot of people get scared when we talk about AI, but as I always tell people, that AI is not self-aware. That Siri is a form of AI, but Siri doesn't wake up and make decisions on her own. Siri is waiting on you to tell Siri what to do. So it's the same thing with AI and Chat GPT. As AI and innovation may shut down some jobs, it's also going to open up new opportunities and new jobs and new fields. But you have to be a thinking man and a thinking woman to see the opportunity and not focus on the fear, and to be curious on how can I learn something and transition into this great field.
Yes, yes, that's exactly right. So how have you been leveraging technology like ChatGPT in your tech career?
Chat GPT has been a godsend. You know, I always refer to Chat GPT as the best personal assistant that I have, that never gets tired, never has an attitude, never calls out sick, is always up, eager, and ready to help. That, you know, in my digital marketing and my Mustafaa Talks Tech platform, I use a blog to communicate, I use a podcast, and I use YouTube and social media. And in each of those platforms or lanes, Chat GPT has been so amazing and so helpful. Like if I need to do some research on a blog post that I'm writing, and I need some facts and figures, I just put it into Chat GPT. Hey, give me all the facts, give me all the figures, give me all the calculations. So it cuts down on my research work, where I can just focus on what I'm writing, and then I bring on all the research, the facts and the figures from Chat GPT. If I'm trying to come up with what could I talk about on my YouTube channel tonight, give me an idea of topics in digital marketing to talk about, or give me an outline of a message that I can give tonight. Chat GPT runs it all down and gives it all to me. Or if I come up with if I want to do a social media campaign, give me 30 days of different motivational posts or inspiration to help someone in tech or different technical things. Chat GPT will give me 30 days of posts. I don't even have to think. All I gotta do is copy and paste and put those posts up. So Chat GPT has made a lot of things easier and has reduced a lot of the heavy lifting, and has allowed me to work smarter, not necessarily harder.
Yes, yes. So that's great. Yeah. So like from a career and tech standpoint, um, so how would you have you did anything with ChatGPT as far as researching tech careers and what are some options out there for these different job roles and who hire these type of people, et cetera, et cetera? Had you experimented with ChatGPT like that?
One thing I did do when I came to the workshop that you put on to inaugurate Blacks in Technology Pensacola, the gentleman there, he was showing us how you can actually set up a mock interview. Okay. Where you can set up Chat GPT to ask you the questions, you answer it, ask you the next question. I said, that's interesting. That'll give me some experience with being able to go through a mock interview in digital marketing, if I was able to interview with a hiring manager or even software engineer. And I put in those calculations, those prompts that he told me, and I went through the whole scenario of going through an interview process in digital marketing. And I did the same thing in software engineering. And so that was education for me, so that whenever the real things happen, I have the experience. It's not I'm not going in raw that I like, oh, I remember that question. Oh, I remember that scenario they put me through, where I'm not going to, oh my God, they just caught me with something I wasn't expecting. So it's a good training tool in that. That's how it's helped me so far.
Yeah, and so like so that's the beauty of tools, those large language models. If you're thinking about a career in tech, you can so you can ask Chat GPT, I want to start a career in tech. What are some of the job roles that I can possibly do at an entry level? And it'll list out all the job roles. And if it, you can always continue to ask, are there any more job roles that are available for me to get started with? And then you can go in there and say, well, uh, you can ask, how do you learn these job roles? What approach would I use? What companies hire people in these job roles? And you can literally get an idea. And then you can also ask, well, what kind of salaries do these job roles pay? Yeah. And so you could, it's limitless. And let's say you said you're doing a software engineering thing right now. You can ask ChatGPT or any of these other ones, any questions about software engineering, and you can say, you, you can literally get it to actually teach you.
Yeah,
And that's right.
Is that
That's
actually really cool for me.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we as people, we don't really have any excuse, for not understanding something. And just notice, like when you get in the workshop next week and people will ask, what does this mean? What does that mean? And I think to myself, you have Google, you have all these large language models. You can quickly ask it. If you don't understand, but it's just you have the tools right now to move you forward. And yeah, that's kind of what the idea is. And a lot of times, and what helps me out, it helps me working with people who want to get in tech and working with founders. It's really you learn so much about the way people think, and how then you can also learn about how to communicate with the people. And the biggest thing I see right now is mindset. And 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 to me, I said this last week, it's like people limit themselves. They try to make decisions based on what they know, and don't realize that you have the world of experts at your fingertips to get advice and to get mentorship to kind of move forward. And so the whole key is just leveraging the resources that are available to you to actually move forward. So the mindset, is what is the foundation to kind of, and being curious, because I can say a lot of things, you can say a lot of things, but a person has to be curious enough to look a little, to peel that on your back, to see what's under there, what they're talking about. Yeah. It's really, really amazing. Yeah. So what's been the most exciting, how did it make you feel that you found a mission or a purpose, with this Mustafaa Talks chat?
It's amazing to me because I'm not chasing a job. I'm not chasing money. I'm chasing a mission. I'm chasing an assignment, and I'm chasing a purpose. And I believe by me chasing those three, that money will eventually chase me. And I say that by providing value, providing information, and providing service to people, that money will eventually chase me. It has given me such joy to be able to educate the people from my community that look like me, that a man who may be struggling and wondering how he's going to make way that if he gets this information, as you said, if he gets curious and he
Yes.
shifts in and gets one of these certs or get into these entry level positions. And by saying entry level, that don't mean you have to stay at entry level. That just means where you come in at. And then you
Yes.
can go up that ladder. I mean, I have friends, I'm not telling you what I read in a book. I have friends who have before me have entered, and I enter in this field. And I mean, the numbers they're running off are like, you're making what? You're working from home? Are you serious? And you say next year you're projected to go up to this? What? So for so many in our community that struggle financially and wondering how they're going to make it and may have to rob Peter to pay Paul and rob Paul back to pay Peter, that it's been so exciting that my platform is an educational platform. It's a right now it's a blog, it's a YouTube channel, it's a podcast. I primarily work through social media to communicate. And next year, I'm going to hit the road and start public speaking and take this show on the road and start talking to people and going into the schools and talking to these middle schoolers and these high schoolers who may be like myself, who may not have no direction or guidance, but show them that that smartphone that you play with every day to watch mindless TikTok videos and YouTube videos, that with the right mindset and understanding tech, that this smartphone could be a gold mine. This smartphone can actually lead you into a career or freelance work or entrepreneurship where you can be the captain of your own ship and make your own destiny. So Mustafaa
Yeah.
Talk Tech, every day that I do it, it excites me. You know, it excites me when people email me or inbox and say, hey, I never knew that. I never thought about that. You know, right now I have 60 videos on YouTube right now
Yes.
that's talking about different areas of tech where people are coming on free information. People are coming on and learning about tech, and I'm showing them go this way, go that way, get this, get that. So as I said that before, I thought I was just going to transition and just go out and get a job and be selfish. But
Yeah.
transitioning to thinking mission, assignment, and purpose, that it's given me a life calling for the rest of my life, that I'm going to use this platform to educate and bring as many people that look like me, black and brown, men and women, into this tech field so that we can change those dismal numbers from 6 and 7% in tech or 2% in leadership, that we can get those numbers up. And I believe that if we unify in the tech community and put a lot of our resources together, why can't we start a black tech or digital black Wall Street? You know, so many people in the tech field, when they get this information, they want to run out to San Francisco or they want to run to Austin, Texas to go to those big tech campus. But, you know, why can't we, with our minds, unite and put this tech skill together and we create the next big thing? You know, I always ask, you know, why can't somebody from the community that look like me, why can't we make the next big Facebook or the next Instagram?
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's what Startup on the Blocks is all about, because in the startup world, the startup ecosystem helped you go from an idea to a product or service making money. And so that's powerful. But you have to realize that that just what you described for a career in tech, it's the same thing for a career as a founder. You've been out there working and doing stuff, and you take that knowledge there and you use that to be creative and solve a problem. But you have to realize that it is possible and that there is help to get you on that journey through that roadmap to kind of do there. And that's what we have to understand. I could, get up here and talk about it all day, but you have to get curious and dig in and realize the opportunities that are out there for you. So I applaud you in what you're doing, and it's definitely needed, and we need more people to get involved and tell their stories, just like you tell your story, and and inspire people to actually move forward. And so I'm excited, and I appreciate you coming on this week. I look forward to working with you more in the future to kind of support you in what you're doing. And that's what we're all about, is just opening people's eyes up to the resources there that are available to them right there in their own backyard. And so people say, well, we don't have this here in this town or that town. But the bottom line is that the whole world is your ecosystem. There's no such thing as what's in your hometown anymore. You in your hometown, you can be working for people overseas, do a startup that's international. That's what the opportunity you have, and it's all about learning about the technology stuff. So we are going to go ahead and close, and we'll see you all next week. And but I just want to reiterate, the folks that are in Florida, we have that Black Founder program. And you're making a big mistake if you don't get in there and get introduced to the ecosystem and learn what it can do. Even if you're not even ready to start a business, you at least want to know what the knowledge is. So when you do get ready, you can actually do it. And if you're out there struggling with a business and it's not growing the way you want it to grow, learn how to create a business model that is scalable. Learn what the experts know, and stop trying to get advice from people that are at the same level you are. You have to get advice from people that already been there and done that. You can't just rely on people that have the same knowledge level that you have. You have to, and these people are making themselves available to you. ChatGPT has made itself available to you, so do it. So we'll see you all next week. And Mustafaa, if you hold on a second, I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast. Thanks, everybody, for logging in. We appreciate all the feedback and comments. Thank you all.